According to 3 people, Tesla is getting ready to revamp its Model Y, its most popular car. So here's what we know. The Model 3 has been finessed to such a point where it's now quite a reliable car, and people know this. There are quite a few that have done 100,000 miles with virtually no issues at all. So Tesla now have to be really careful. The Model Y also is a very reliable car with a really good, robust drivetrain in it. So unlike the very first few Teslas, the Model 3 now and the Model Y has a really good drivetrain that Tesla say genuinely could get 1,000,000 miles. So we know for sure that people are getting 100,000 miles and having virtually no issues at all, other than maybe like a door handle issue or a roof panel cracking, or boot, when you shut the boot, maybe the glass cracks. But these are just very rare stories, and all manufacturers have these sort of things happen to them. Tesla is revamping the Model Y, which is its most popular car. So what we think is going to happen in this new revamped version, codenamed Juniper, is that they'll make the car more refined and more reliable and economical. Well, that's what we're all sort of thinking. We know that the changes are most likely to reflect Tesla's efforts to make the car really reliable. So, and they've kind of said in these leaked documents that the car is going to be tweaked in a subtle way, nothing too dramatic. It's not going to look completely different like chrome wheels or fluorescent paint, but it will be. It will have some subtle changes in regards to making the battery a little bit better and making the car more reliable. That's what we do know. And also, the Tesla's efforts in the past have shown that they want the cars to be really reliable, and they've publicly said that the Model 3 now should be able to do 1,000,000 miles, or at least the drivetrain is capable of 1,000,000 miles. So unlike the earlier version Teslas, the Model 3 has now done 100,000 miles in quite a few instances and had virtually no issues at all. Whereas some of the original Teslas, the first few years, which granted, it's kind of expected, and it shouldn't be a surprise that you would have a few issues. The battery packs quite often are replaced by 100 or 150,000 miles, or the fuse, which sits on top. You have to drop the battery down and replace the fuse. That fuse is known to go. But the cars themselves are generally quite good. And even the earlier version Teslas, if you take the car in because it has a motor issue, if it's just a bearing in the motor, which seems reasonable after 100 or 150,000 miles, Tesla will actually just replace the motor. They won't replace the bearing. It's a bit strange. But it's probably important to remember that this is all hearsay, so nobody knows absolutely for sure, but 3 people did leak some documents, and people have traced some credible people and asked them questions, and they've said stuff. Also, Tesla themselves, like Elon Musk and other executives, have been asked questions, and from their responses, people deduce that this is happening, and they have an idea of what's going to happen. But for sure, people don't really know exactly what's happening. What we do know is other companies such as Ford with their Mach-E and Hyundai and Kia, there are other vehicles now that are maybe a similar price to a Tesla or a bit less, and they are now competitors of Tesla. Tesla are very aware that there is a pressure on them to do really well. So of course the Model 3 and the Model Y sell really well, and the Model Y is the world's most sold electric vehicle. Other car manufacturers now are coming out with very compelling, really lovely cars. So the Ford Mach-E, for example, is a beautiful car, and you can get that for $43,000 US. Lovely car, and Hyundai and Kia are coming out with nice cars too. So Tesla are aware that there is essentially a target on their back. So they'll have a very good reason to want to really think about what interiors they put in their cars and the looks of the outside of the cars, and listen to the comments that people are making. Because it's not always going to be that Tesla are the predominant manufacturer. There are going to be lots of others in the future. And lots of big changes are happening, such as Bentley just announced that within the next few years, all of their cars will be electric. They're dropping the W12 engine to be all electric. So that will be, I suspect, my next video. So if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, and then you'll get my videos every day sent to you. And remember to click the bell icon too. I make electric car videos every single day, so you'll get to know a lot about what's happening every day. Also, thank you very much to the patrons. I've got a couple of patrons on Patreon, and the link is below if you're interested in that. They enable me to make these videos every day, so thank you very much. To anyone who's even just watching my videos, or anyone who clicks the like button, that's a lovely thing, so thank you very much. And I'm glad that I can make content that you're interested in. Tesla were not immediately keen to admit that Juniper was a thing, but now we know, and we know that in Shanghai the plant is now making alterations in preparation for some new things, but we don't know exactly what. So we know that things are happening in the Shanghai plant for the new version of the Model Y specifically. We know that Tesla are planning to standardize a lot of processes across all of their plants, no matter what part of the world they're in, because that will make it a bit cheaper and a bit easier to understand and a bit quicker, which is really at the heart of what they're trying to do. They've said in a local investor day that they want to make things in the production stage as quick and as cheap as possible, which is of course what they want to do, but they've said that that's what they want to do, and they want to make these cars cheaper. One thing Elon Musk did say, which I thought was really interesting, is that the most profound architectural changes will be in the future vehicles from Tesla. I thought that was a really interesting and telling comment from Elon. It doesn't sound as if the changes will be significant at all, just kind of, like I've said, just reinforcing the reliability of the car and the efficiency, and also the look and feel because of the pressures from other manufacturers. I don't believe any of the changes will be very significant at all, mostly just kind of what we've said already, mostly just efficiency and the look and feel of the car. The cars are already really reliable, so maybe a little bit in that regard too. They might have a few concerns they want to address, but that's kind of what's going on. So as you might know, there was the first generation Model Y from 2019, and then they put out a second generation with a different battery pack, and then Juniper will be the third generation of the most popular car from Tesla, which is the Model Y. Tesla are very careful about these things. They don't like to change things too much. So if you look at the Model 3 and then you look at the Model Y, quite similar. It just slightly morphed it slightly. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you did enjoy it. Any questions, put in the comments below. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more electric vehicle content every day.